My name's Shannon Michelle. I am I call myself Shannon Michelle now 2.0 because I feel like Shannon Michelle 1.0 got deleted, literally. I was in a very severe motorcycle accident, and it was to the point where I pretty much died and came back-ish. I would say to everybody, just stay present, just be the best you can be in each moment of each day.
Welcome to Wheel With It. I am your host, Devin Wieters. Let's get into the episode. Hello. Welcome to another episode of Wheel With It. My name is Devin Wieters, and we have Shannon Michelle on the podcast with us today. How are you, Michelle?
Hi.
Or Shannon?
It's
Michelle.
Shannon. I have two first names. It's good. Everybody thinks it's Michelle because it seems so common. But yeah, Shannon is my first name, Shannon Michelle. And I'm good. Yeah, I'm good. It's been a good morning.
So tell us about yourself.
Okay.
We will get started.
Absolutely. My name's Shannon Michelle. I am I call myself Shannon Michelle now 2.0 because I feel like Shannon Michelle 1.0 got deleted, literally. I was in a very severe motorcycle accident, and it was to the point where I pretty much died and came back-ish. And they kept me in a coma for a few months, and they had to put my body back together. Some things are more obvious than others, but I am. And when I woke, when they allowed me to wake from the brain trauma, my brain was deleted. That's the best way to put it, because it was like I was running my own company, and then I woke up and this is the good news too. I don't remember the accident because of the brain trauma. It deleted and never allowed that memory to come back. So that makes me feel a little better in the sense that I don't have a memory of the severity of what happened to me. And they popped me in an airplane, in a helicopter to UCLA, and put me back together. And then in post of all that, I had to relearn everything. I had to learn what a cell phone was. I had to learn how to read again. I had to learn everything from basically when you're a child forward, you learn how to do things. And I didn't know how to do anything. And I ran my own company, and I was very successful previous. The Shannon Michelle 1.0 was smart, engaging, successful, creative. And I'm still all of that, but I had to relearn all of that. And then from all of that, I was in recoveries with lots of surgeries and things. And I guess the next chapter that I didn't mention a minute ago was that a year and a half after my accident, when I was being lots of surgeries later, and they were fixing me, I got the call that I had breast cancer. So I had to take everything that I just went through, not everything, but just literally, I had like 3 more surgeries for my right wrist hand to work. I had two surgeries here, but I had to go through more surgeries, and they're like breast cancer. And I'm like, and I thought it was funny at first because I thought nothing's going to kill me. Like after everything I just went through, blah, blah, blah. And I had to learn how to take everything serious. And so I had to put aside, as my daughter said to me, Mom, you have to focus on not the brain recovery, not the body recovery, but the breast cancer. And so I had to focus in on something new and different post a lot of trauma. And yeah, also through all of that, I also am an author now. My book was published a handful of months ago, and tell my story about how to recover from trauma, depending on where you're at and what help you need, how to walk your way out of bad situations, we'll call them.
So tell us about how you even started with the recovery, because I can't even imagine like what that was.
It was difficult. It was difficult. It was overwhelming. It took a lot of time for me to not be in depression and sadness about everything I had mentally and physically, what I at that point thought was a loss. But I had to slowly stay present. And a therapist, I think at one point, told me, because I was worried too much about what I had lost or what I could gain, and I couldn't focus on the present moment. And I would say that's the thing that saved me, is like somebody reminding me. And with brain trauma, you don't retain much sometimes. So my short-term memory is very limited still. But I've learned that if I want to retain something, I have to do it a certain amount of times, and I have to visually see it and do it so many times that it creates the links again to be able to. And So I would wake up in the morning, I'd look out my window and I'd be like, okay, the birds, aren't they pretty? And I just had to find simple present moment things that brought me joy. That was the only way. And then I kept working at what was working and not working for my brain trauma and my body trauma. And I succeeded.
Hi, I'm Doug Katz, inventor of the Nulu kitchen knife. The Nulu is uniquely shaped to work in harmony with the human body, greatly reducing the strain on muscles and joints common with traditional knives. Not only is the Nulu ergonomic, it's incredibly versatile. This knife is the kitchen MVP. Visit us at nuluknives.com, that's N-U-L-U knives.com, to see this extraordinary knife in action and understand why we say Nulu is the knife that adapts to you.
Visit nuluknives.com and enter code WheelWithIt-Nulu at checkout. Before we get back to the conversation, make sure you're subscribed so you never miss an episode. On whatever podcast app you're listening on right now, just hit the subscribe or follow button, and if there's a bell icon, tap that too so you get notified when new episodes drop. You can also subscribe to my Substack newsletter for updates about important disability policy at both the state and federal levels, and deeper dives into the topics we talk about on the show at wheelwithit.com/Substack. And if you want to follow both me and the podcast on social media, you can find all the links in one place at wheelwithit.com/followers. Now, let's get back to the conversation. Yay. How was your family during all this? Because that must have been hard for them too.
It was hard for my family and friends and employees. I had a business, and there was a lot in the layers of loss. And that's the other thing that you sometimes have to not take responsibility for, because I kept thinking I was responsible for everybody. And I had to learn to only be responsible for myself and do my self-care to be able to rebuild the strong, beautiful person that I am. And it was difficult. My daughter specifically had to switch gears with me. She had to become my mother, and I was like her child because of her age. And she had to teach me, she had to be patient with me. She had to learn to do things for herself that I was the one that generally did, kind of thing. And so it taught her and had her grow as well, obviously. Yeah.
Are you still recovering today?
Yes, I'd say now mostly. My motorcycle accident was 3.5 years ago. And I take my learning and my growing and my body capacity of doing things a day at a time. And I'm building more strength back in my body, which I have a lot. Again, you go from everything broken, like new hips put back together, everything. And then you have to rebuild muscle, because I couldn't walk for 3 months. And then you lose like all the strength that you have in your body when you can't use your body. So I've done all that, but I'm still building more strength in my body. I'm working on my balance now, because the one eye versus the two eyes, the way that the brain works with that, I'm much better, but I still focus on the balance sometimes. And my brain is beautiful. I have to get comfortable with the idea that my short-term memory is very limited. And I have to do things to make that okay. And that's the hard part that I retain more now. So I've learned more. I know I'm capable of doing a lot, but if you ask me what I did last week, I may not remember what I did. So I have to track things differently.
I don't even remember what I did last week. So it's
the feeling. Yeah, but there's a part, I think, for me, and I'm hopeful for you, is that there's a part that we realize that
I don't have any short-term memory problems. I just am like a little ADD. So I'm like, okay, that was last week. Oh,
what you focus on is different, or how you focus on things is what limits you that way. Because I'm not sure about ADD.
I was making a joke, but I am a little bit of ADD, and I just like zone out and I'm like, oh, That was last week. I thought that was next Tuesday, and I totally missed the meeting.
Yeah. So you have to retain things differently, right? If they're important, that's life though. You retain and you process through life with the things that are most important to you. At least I do. And obviously you do too. Like us sitting here right now is important. We're doing this. Like both of us showed up.
Yes, I have if I don't have a bajillion reminders for things, I'm liable to miss the meeting
Yes.
or miss the thing. And I'm like, you didn't set the 19th reminder for that thing, so you missed it. All right.
Yeah, I'm the same. Similar. It's hard to explain. Sometimes I have found, I don't know if this is difficult for you, but it's hard to, I don't want to say explain, but sometimes I have to be kind to myself and not do the comparisons of this for that. Meaning, if I compare myself to others, it's not healthy for me. Like what I'm capable of doing and what somebody else is capable of doing is different. And that's a beautiful thing. But that you have to come to a place where you're comfortable with being different.
What advice would you give other people in your position?
I'd say the biggest thing that I continually have to do, and I sometimes forget, is that thing about staying present. Because I know that when I worry about the past, the accident, my business, the old, anything that's the past, if I worry about that and I worry about the future, about what will happen, that does not keep me healthy and mentally and physically. I have to stay present in each moment. And when I do that, I live a better life. I'm still growing and expanding and learning, but I do that within each present moment. And if people could stop and really come across, can I ask you? So if I said, is there a question that you're about your life that you wonder, and then you can do the simple, like, and it's not simple sometimes, but it is if you let it be, is stay present and do this yes, no, maybe in your head, in your heart, in your soul, like a yes, no, maybe question where you're asking for an answer and you think, should I do that? Yes, no, or maybe. And a yes is yes, and a no is no, and a maybe is stay present and it will come to you. And it's the way that I think about it, that maybe is you don't have an answer at this point, but move on. You don't need an answer yet. Move on. So that's one thing that helps me. The yes, no, maybe.
That's cool. I never
It's simple.
tried that before.
It's really simple, but I'm telling you that the simplest things are what have allowed me to recover as much as I have, considering I was the one that was they said, oh, she's going to just look out a window the rest of her life. She wouldn't be able to care for herself. She wouldn't, like, they really thought that with my brain trauma that I was going to be gone. And I was for periods of time. I had to slowly, because I kept looking out the window, and then 10 minutes would pass and I'm looking out the window again and not even knowing what day it was, that I did the same thing over and over again. And again, you have to give yourself patience with, how can I make this feel better for myself today? And that is how you grow, and that is how you build strength in things that are important for you. And we all have things that are important for ourselves. They're all different, but just find what's important to you today. Stay present with that and learn from it. And then if you don't get an answer you like, wake up the next day and try it again.
So that's really good advice. What really amazed me about you is you still like motorcycles, even after all this. If that was me, I'd be like, I'm not doing that again.
I don't ride anymore. I made a promise to my family and friends that I would not be putting myself in that position.
Good to good.
So I don't ride. I don't even think it would be safe for me because I do have disabilities of balance and strength, that to ride a motorcycle is not easy. You have to have perception and all kinds of stuff that it's not simple. And I know that I don't have all of those capabilities. And so I miss it in the sense that I miss the fresh air and it felt like I had a little bit of freedom to be on my own. And I'm still searching for other things to fulfill that part of my life, my new life. I take a ton of walks. I do gentle yoga. I have other things, but I'm still in search of probably something that replaces that a little bit for me, but I've also got comfortable with nothing will maybe ever replace it, and I have to be comfortable with that too.
Yeah, because it's a good thing you made that promise to your family, because if that was my mom, I'd be like, please promise me you're never gonna do that again. So thank you for never doing that again.
Yeah, because she sat next to me in a hospital for 2 months. Well, she wasn't allowed to be there for 2 months, but I was in there for 2 months, and she, for weeks, when her dad allowed her to come, and not allowed, but at some point she was, you need to go back to school, and she even says that she had to learn a certain amount of patience because I was the caregiver. I did everything. I was a good mama. And the mama was gone, and she had to get comfortable with the mama going, being away and not being there to be as helpful as I had originally been. We all grow, though. Don't you think we all grow? Like the people in your life grow from your beautiful life?
Yeah, I think they do. Yeah, I think people around us grow when we go through things. Tell us about your book and then where people can get it.
Yes, absolutely. My book was released, it was published, and the name of my book is Step Into Your Miracle. And so I'm Shannon Michelle, Step Into Your Miracle. There's a website they created for me, stepintoyourmiracle.com. And there's all kinds of ways you can buy it. You can also see more of my story, my daughter, pictures, and again, a little bit of my history. Stepintoyourmiracle.com. And then there's also, my book is sold on Amazon. And just look me up, buy my book, please.
Yes, and we'll have all those links in the show notes. Anything else that you would want to add before we get off here?
I would say to everybody, just stay present, just be the best you can be in each moment of each day.
That's amazing advice to leave us with. Don't forget to follow Shannon on social media. We'll have all those links in the show notes. Don't forget to follow us on social media. We will also have all those links in the show notes. And we will see you guys next episode. Bye, guys.
Thanks for watching. Be sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the bell so you get notified when we upload new episodes. Leave a comment and let us know what you think. Also, give this video a thumbs up. Remember to follow our guests and the show on social media using the links in the description. We'll see you next time.